This is a smoke break with Spaceman Jones, proudly sponsored by Earthy Now and Urban Combat Wrestling.
Alright. What's up?
Man, what's happening, everybody? Man, this Spaceman Jones with a smoke break, man. And we in the house, man, with one of my good musical friends, man. My main man, Philo, man. This guy been around the town and around the scene for a long time, man. For those who don't know you, Philo, man, go ahead and give yourself a good old introduction.
What's up? I'm Philo. I go by Philo Reitzel. I'm from, Buncombe County. Grew up outside of the Ville. Been making music since a very young age. I started rapping when I was like 9. Put out my first tape when I was like 14. Didn't make no waves. But around here, you know what I'm saying? And then moved to Cali for a while. I don't know, man. I make beats, I make raps, I work on films. I just try to do all media. I'm an entrepreneur, and try to educate the best from what I know, and just try to kind of bring a positive message, not bullshit, not sugar coated. You know what I mean?
Okay. Man, here on the smoke break, man, we like to take a little bit of time to kind of ground and center at the beginning of the show to kind of bring some of the spirit in, man. So if you don't mind, if you would join me in a few breaths of just being here and holding the space, man, so we can bring uh, something a little bit more spiritual into the conversation, man. I'm gonna just count off some breaths, man, if you don't mind, and we'll start now. One, two, three, four, five, six. And as always, if you're out there, you can join in. I hope that you will join in on this breathing. Seven, 8, 9, and 10. I always like to bring a little bit of the spirit in, man. Sometimes we moving way too fast in this world and not really thinking. We just constantly reaction. Um, and we want to do that different on the smoke break, man. You had said that you have been making music for a long time. Being a guy, you not much. You're a little bit younger than me, man. But we grew up around the same time in the same place, Buncombe County, man. And it wasn't easy back in the early to mid '90s, kind of for a white fella like you to be involved in black music, especially in Asheville, man. I remember um, when cats like you would get a real hard time. Got anything?
Yeah, I mean, well, man, honestly, like for me, bro, it was kind of like I went to North Buncombe, which was hella rednecks and shit. So I got a hard time from all the rednecks and shit. But then it's like my first rap crew was all black people, and I was like the only white dude in it. So like I don't know, man. I got a hard time from like white folks,
Now that's what I'm
but
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Is had
yeah,
getting a hard time like
yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I got a hard time from white folks. I mean, I came up like fighting fucking rednecks all the time over that shit. Like all the time. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I wasn't sure like where you
no,
were trying to edge that because I always got very affected by the black community.
and
Like, you know what
that's
I mean? Like it's like the
yeah.
well, it's the opposite of how the rednecks and how you think it with that trickery, man, that they think you believe it would be. You know what I'm saying? It's like the black community was always like very extremely accepting, and the white community was not back then.
Now that's what I was speaking towards, because I can remember, man, when I was a teenager, I would hang with a lot of white kids. You know what I'm saying? The way that I saw them being treated alongside me, we both would, and they used to get it a little bit rougher than I got it, as far as like we used to hang at this, it was me and this one guy, we used to hang at this arcade in Waynesville. And the rednecks would talk a little stuff to me, you know, we'll be ready to get in the fight, but they would really, like, after the fight, they would be so much mad at my white friend than they were at me. Like, they were extremely angry at him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I see that a lot of guys who are white, who join into who are around the rap community at a young age, especially around this time, man, y'all had it rough. You know what I'm saying? You got it rough from your granddaddies, from your uncles, sometimes from your best friends, people in your community. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of like putting their rage on you that they really couldn't really express. They did express it, but they didn't express, like, it was more intimate kind of. It's like they felt like, why are you doing this to us?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it was always, I never really understood it per se. You know what I mean? Because, man, like, my family, like, my immediate family is, like, pretty forward thinking, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we've got like brown people in my family and shit. Like we like kind of a mixed race family and shit. Like not to be like, I'm not trying to be like, yo, I'm mixed race, because I'm not. But my family has that in it, you know? But it's like, so my family is not really racist, my immediate family, you know? They chill. They don't have any problems with that shit. So I didn't grow up with that in my home. You know what I mean?
But it was definitely.
But then it's everywhere else. Yeah. I mean, it was crazy, man. Like, I got rocks thrown at me and shit, and, you know, called the N-word, like, yelled at. When I was in 6th grade, like, kids, like, threw rocks at me at a football game and yelled the N-word at me, and they sitting there with their parents there. You know what I'm saying? And nobody even stopped them. So, like,
I can remember, because North Buncombe, I used to be friends with the Weaver family. You know what I'm saying? Greg and Eric.
Yeah.
And Kathy and all of them. You know, my granddaddy was a preacher of a church that they all went to. So when we grew up a little bit, you know, I would go to football games sometimes and meet Eric Weaver there. And the racial tension at those football games, even though we are kids, with kids going to a high school football game, the tension there was like, get the fuck out of here, y'all niggers. Y'all ain't supposed to be here. Why are y'all here? You know what I'm saying? And like, we would have to, it would be getting hot. The temperature would be getting so hot that it felt very unsafe at times. And it shouldn't feel that way at a high school. Now, granted, that was 20 something years ago. But I think that the same sentiment is in the community, and we see it, like you said, you've been out in the protests, and we see it in the protests, with what we're actually protesting about, and then also the reaction from the people that represent the establishment or that represent that other side. You know, how do you feel about justice and what we need to do to bring more of it into this time frame, man? Because it's definitely lacking.
I mean, well, I don't know. It's like, man, we were out there yesterday, and it's like, Smith handed me the sign. He was like, well, here, write on your sign, you know, and I couldn't even think of what to write on a sign for a minute. I thought about it, and then I wrote, like, justice cannot exist within a corrupt system.
Right.
So it's like, this system, but see, a lot of white folk don't see that shit because they haven't actually been put into the system like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think for one thing, like, I would say white people actually need to be educated on how the system works, especially if you are a minority, especially if you're black. I mean, specifically if you're black, but then above that, if you're a minority, and then above that, even if you're a poor white person. But
Yeah.
that's way up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like, but it's like the system. I don't think a lot of like middle class white people actually understand how fucking corrupt and like set against black people the system is. You know what I mean? And like, I probably wouldn't know that if I hadn't become so involved in rap music the way I was. You know?
Yeah. True that. True
And
that.
so I mean, like, but I don't know what has to change, but like it's almost like the whole fucking thing has to change because a black man does not get a fair shot in the American criminal justice system. Like it just isn't the same. You know what I mean? So it's like, what can we change? It's like we can change in our hearts and maybe that'll do something, or but the motherfuckers need to change. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly. And from what I'm seeing, we'll use this phrase throughout the whole episode. The motherfuckers are constantly I think that there's a group of people who is in charge who feel the tides changing and they don't want to lose their power. I think it's been going on for maybe 60 or 70 years. People have been fighting against this certain idea because if you notice, every generation things may seem a little bit freer, but it's actually tighter. We are more surveilled like than any other time in human history. But it seemed like we more free because we can get on the internet, we can go here, we can do this, we can do that. But you know, from seeing the way that society is creeping on down, I think that a lot of the ruling classes, you know what I'm saying, they done kept power so centralized. They're getting old and they're dying, and they don't really have a lot of people that's taking their place because the younger people are growing up with a much more unified vision of how the world is supposed to be. Man, all of the young people that's out to protest, it's multicultural, multiracial groups of young people. I'm talking about the people under 25, under like the young people. They all mix together in races. You know what I'm saying? They don't see the racism the same that we see it. It's definitely changing. But the old people that are in power, they smart, they cunning, they're fucking clever, and they are wicked. And you know what I'm saying? And they vicious and willing to do whatever. We heard our president and the things that he had to say over the past couple of days. And I think that's some very inflammatory and some dangerous things have been said. You know, in your opinion, Philo, man, and you said that being in music, right, kind of brought you to a level of consciousness that you wouldn't have had. How can the world, what are some things that the world can take from like us musicians that we can fight against all of, you know, we got these young people who are culture, we got these old people who are it's kind of pitted, it's got people in the middle, like the whole world is in the middle of this movement of change. How can what we've learned in the music industry and from making music with people help that be a catalyst to that type of change?
man, you be asking the good questions, man. Like, I don't know, man. I think about it like this. I remember, so back, and I'll just kind of use this as like a metaphor, like this story. When I was in my crew Frontline, and you know, there was the crew GFE, right? Like Falmouth Jerk and all them, right? And we had like met each other. Yeah, Granola Funk Express, OGs in the scene too. And we had like met them at a show and kind of had a little battle. And then from that point on, our crew and their crew had beef. So we were told. We didn't actually communicate with each other, right? But we like, yeah, fuck them, da da da. And it was just, but it was all kind of made up because then eventually Making Beats put together me and Foulmouth Jerk to meet and make a song, and it was me and Foulmouth and Josh Wiley over a Making Beats track, and we made a song in like, this is in like 2000 from my first solo album. And like, the thing is, we were sitting in that studio And we're like, man, everybody has told us we have beef. And we were trying to figure out how that even started. And we figured out that literally it didn't come from anyone in our camp, and it was just people talking. And I feel like really that's kind of the whole shit that's going on. Because it's like if you ain't like, if you're not like a racist person, and given everyone has their like biases and shit that they just grown up with, it's ingrained, it's in our culture and it's fucked up. But like, you know, if you don't hold hate in your heart, one of the reasons that racism is so baffling is because it's just an illogical thing. It makes no fucking sense. You know what I mean? So like the motherfuckers, you can't figure out why they want to do, because it just comes from a place of hate. You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, man, and I think that for me, man, I've been making music with rap music, man, since for a while. And man, when I came back to the scene, back home, and really got my feet in the scene in 2012, man, I made a lot of good music with a lot of good white folks. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen a lot of good white guys in this town give their heart for the scene, for the music. Now, there's some people who really don't kind of understand, and there's some real opportunistic guys, even in this small scene, opportunistic guys who kind of are culture vultures, but them guys will get called out sooner or later. You know what I'm saying? But I saw that it helped. That the music scene has helped race relations among the young people in town. Like all the guys my age who make music, we all make music together. It ain't really a separation. Now there is some idea out there. You know what I'm saying? That there is an idea out there that we have to break down. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference between sometimes there is racial tension in the hip hop scene. You know what I'm saying? When you got guys who come from different backgrounds, so to speak, and they never. You see what I'm saying? Like, and
that's the thing.
Yeah, when you're coming from different backgrounds and in this town, it's real.
You know, like that's.
Well, it's real easy for people in this town who like. It's real easy for the people, like you said. It was people just talking. It's real easy for the people who are around the scene and just talking to influence the people who are inside of the scene for how they should feel about this. So you might got a guy who don't rap, right? And he like, man, why y'all? Oh, you know, why the white boys always dot. Or some other guy, like, I don't understand. These black guys don't, you know, blah. And it's never the artist. It's always somebody who's not making the music who are able to make these rumblings around. You know what I'm saying? I think that's done being one of the major problems, because there have been some unity. I ain't gonna lie, there's unity in the hip hop community, but there are outliers. You know what I'm saying? Who would say, I ain't fucking with them white boys. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the third. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm here to discredit that idea completely. You know what I'm saying? Y'all cats is fucked up, and y'all motherfuckers ain't even on the right side, but you still won't, like, it's weird, man. I don't understand how we all making the same music. You know what I'm saying? We all doing this. Why do the negativity got to come up in that way? But we that's why we here to talk about it, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not trustworthy of white rappers. You know what I'm saying? Especially black guys. I'm just talking about the black guys who rap.
But you know what though? It's like, that's the thing though. It's like, you know, being a white dude that's like involved in the culture, it's like, I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of white dudes that are full of shit when it comes to that rap shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, culture vultures. Like, people see this shit, they want to portray this shit, and it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't know. Like, I get that. I understand it. It's like, I was listening, and all this is coming back to what's going on right now, too. You know what I mean? Because it's such a pivotal time. But, like, it's like, and I was listening to NPR, you know what I'm saying? And they're interviewing the professor of African American Studies at Princeton. And they're asking him what he thinks about the riots.
Am I right? Eric Dyson?
I think so, man, but I'm not. Don't quote me on that, man. I can't remember. I just remember what the man was saying, and what he was saying was like, he was like, he's like, man, I'm not interested in condemning rioting. It doesn't matter what I think about that. You know what I mean? It's like America's such a system built on such hypocrisy. You know what I mean? That it's like you cannot, you can't judge a form of protest, being that what the people, black people, have been put through in this country. You know what I mean? So it's like being a white rapper, per se, like if a black rapper is like, man, fuck you, white boy, like this our shit, it's like I'm gonna respectfully disagree that like other races can't be involved in hip hop culture, but also I'm not gonna be like, fuck you, you wrong. It's not really my place to do that. I feel, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I think that's the big fear, or the big thing about this idea that we talking about, is that a lot of white guys don't want to be able to say, you know what, I am a guest in this shit. I do need to kind of back up and realize where I'm at and what I'm doing. It's not all about me and my expression. It's about being a part of this whole coalition, this whole art form. And I also got to say to the black guys who are on that shit, is that from the beginning, black music done had white faces in it. Period. It was people. It was people whenever the black folks on the plantation used to, do they little musical rendition. I wasn't there, so I don't know what it is, but I guarantee you it was a few white guys that was overseers or whatever around there that would creep around them trees and hide and listen and enjoy, and they live for that. And throughout the time, man, because we in America, man, black and white people cannot be separated. You see what I'm saying? We done grew in this pot together, man. And
yeah.
I think that the motherfuckers don't want us to be together. You see what I'm saying? The motherfuckers don't want us to be together. The motherfuckers want us separated. You know what I'm saying? I think that hip hop is something that is a unifying thing. Now, you got some people that's fucked up in it, man, but I think that hip hop is unifying, and I done seen that in this city.
I mean, it is unifying. Shit, it came from blacks and Puerto Ricans. You know what I'm saying? Like Bronx, you know what I mean? And then there were white dudes involved, not many, but involved from the very beginning of hip hop. Like, you know what I mean?
And also this, let's put it like this. It was created black and Puerto Ricans, and then the gay white people made it popular in the very beginning. That was the first they was able to go and play at, outside of the block party kind of circuit that they had. It was the white gays down uptown, wherever it was at, they wanted to hear something new and exciting. So we always being like locked in step. We always being together.
So it's like this, man. It's like, so it's like, the thing is, how I see it, it's like, it's that white fragility, and I use this a lot. Probably white people who are watching this, a lot of white folk might not like what the fuck I say, because like I say a lot of shit that kind of people might not want to hear, but it's like, it's white fragility. And it's like, anytime something infringes on this massive space that white people own, they feel like they're being attacked. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the Black Lives Matter. Everyone's like, well, why do Black Lives matter? White lives matter too. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, but white lives ain't getting took by police officers every other week on film and nothing happens. You know what I'm fucking saying? So, so it's like, but it's this white fragility, and also it's a lack of understanding of where you're at. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've lived like in black communities, you know what I mean? Where I was the minority as a white person, you know what I'm saying? And so like, it gives you a way different perspective, that like people aren't privy to as a white person, because it's really, you see all that shit from the outside and it look different than when you see it from the inside. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah.
Yeah, man.
And also one more thing I'll say is like, a lot of white folks, if they don't actually have a lot of contact with non-white people, they just tend to be scared on some level of non-white people because they get that through the media all the time in their face, you know? And they love that music, but that's what they.
Well, it's the cultural conditioning. It's the cultural conditioning that's done been going on, and we here to fight against it completely, you know. But we got to talk about it, and we have to confront it, and we got to, because I think that there's a lot of white folks and black folks who are kind of unconscious of their condition. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of white folks, black folks, everybody, just all around the world. It's so beneficial for the motherfuckers to have us asleep and selfish. You know what I'm saying? And that's how shit stays going the way that it goes. It's because we asleep and we're selfish, and we are not willing most of the time, like, to step outside of our comfort zone. Okay, like, you see, you got people who done made it, and they won't take a step back to reach back to help their people because they're afraid if they go back there, then they'll get stuck. You see what I'm saying? And it's all about, you know, keeping up with moving forward. We gotta buy this new car. I gotta buy this new couch. I gotta buy this new exercise equipment. Or I'm not shit. You see what I'm saying? Advertising and making money to turn the world into a fucking shit pit. And it bases and it turns everybody against each other based on their insecurities and the idea that you're gonna be left out. You see what I'm saying? We gotta discredit that shit, man. It's all based on just making money, man. And life is worth way more than just making money. And then they twisted us all around and got us like insane for them to make a little bit of money.
Man, that's such real talk. It's like that whole just money making mentality, in which, like, look, I'm trying to make some money too in this motherfucker. But like, also though, you gotta realize what's inside, because it's like all that stuff feeds upon the low self-esteem and sickness of our society. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, this addiction, it's like, I feel terrible. I can buy this thing. Ooh, it gives me endorphins for a minute. But you never, it's like we got to do the shadow work. And no one wants to go where it's painful, because it's like, no one wants to be, like, most people don't want to be bad people. So when you tell a white person that they got some racist in it, like culturally, you know, they just ain't conditioned, right?
That's a hard
But then real hard. People get defensive because they want to be like, yo, I'm gonna go. The first thing they say is, look, I got black friends. First of all, you can have black friends and be a white person and still have culturally conditioned racial bias in you. You know what I mean? Like, it's true. And that doesn't, the thing is that I want to get out there is like, that doesn't make you a bad person.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That itself don't make you a bad person. Well, now, once you are aware of that and you don't address it,
then you are a bad person. You can even go as far as having kids. Now, this is to all of the people out there in the interracial relationships. Just because you have a partner that is of another race don't mean that you're still not conditioned to be racist culturally. Even if you got kids that are biracial or whatever, you can still have racism inside of your mind, inside of the way that you see the world. You see what I'm saying? Because it's a pervasive and very sneaky and vicious thing, because it's built on keeping artificial. It's based on keeping an artificial hierarchy. It's artificial power. No, it's something that has to constantly be maintained to keep, because naturally we don't feel that way. And you can actually see, okay, you know that two animal species are not compatible because they cannot, if they two different species, they can't mate they couldn't mate and produce anything, right? For a long time, we was fed the idea that black folks and white folks were different species. You see what I'm saying? But you can have a baby. To see, science discredit bullshit every day, all the time. Truth and science discredited. We've been the same human race. You know what I'm saying? It's genetically and scientifically 100% a fact. You know what I'm saying? The people who don't believe in science don't believe in science. So let's just look at that for a second.
True.
You see what I'm saying? They don't believe in science. The motherfuckers don't believe in science.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, man. Like coming from in my head and in my heart, it's like sometimes I sit back and I look at all the shit and I'm like, it's so confusing because I look at it. If I look at it objectively, I just like and even take away emotion from it. I'd be like, this makes zero fucking sense, man. Like it just don't make any sense, you know. Like, and all it is there's people in places of power that want to keep this system in place because it keeps them in power. And that's the only reason, you know.
That's it. That is completely it. There's no other reason for it. It's all about power. It's all about control. It's all about keeping the gravy train going, and it's all about the fear that if I let go of this or let my hand off of it, I'm gonna be destroyed because all the evil shit I did. Now that's something that's one of the reasons why folks understand and they know what the fuck is going on now on a subconscious level. Like everybody in this motherfucker know what's going on. That's why they get so nervous whenever you start talking to them. That's that defensiveness that you see is like, well, I know all of this shit been going on and I've been a part of it. What is there's hell to pay and we don't want to pay it, so we're gonna keep denying y'all because we know we owe y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's a big part of the anxiety is the fear that, damn, I owe and I need to pay and I'm not ready to pay right now.
It's like when you get caught in a lie and you keep trying to lie more to get out the lie. You know what I'm saying? And it's been perpetuating itself. Because look, they're doubling down. Motherfuckers are doubling down on that shit. It's like, bro, you had slavery, you had emancipation, then you had Jim Crow, then you had the civil rights movement, and things seemed to be progressing, and then you had Obama, and then you get the backlash on that because and the thing is, it's like Obama. Let's be honest, he was not that fucking great. He just
he was black. He was just black. He just wasn't white.
Yeah,
he just,
all they had. It's like
he's a neoliberal. His policies were horrible. Like he used that drone strikes and extrajudicial killings. Like he got a lot of blood on his hand. But see what the problem is that white folks was living in fear that he was gonna do them like they did us. And because they had to live for that long, we have to pay. Somebody got to pay for this shit. We ain't supposed to be this scared. And that's what you're seeing on the backlash of this. Is all of these old, damn near dead, 1 foot in the grave ass racists. You know what I'm saying? Whose granddaddy was running around. You know what I'm saying? They got 1 foot in the grave. Their granddaddies and their uncles and all of them taught them all this bullshit, and the world is rejecting their way of life. Mm-hmm. And they are fucking having the biggest temper tantrum you done seen since Trump got in office. You done seen a temper tantrum. No, you done seen a temper tantrum from white America for the past 12 years since Obama got elected. It's been a temper tantrum.
Well, it's like, hey, you look at this. Like, think about from when we was kids to now we grown. Think about how many more mixed children there are.
Oh my God, I have a mixed son who done had 2 mixed babies.
Yeah.
All of his god brothers and sisters is 3 of them. They all mixed and they got mixed kids. It's probably one of the places where you see it the most. Like I done been around, and you don't see as many mixed couples as you do in Asheville. Like this place but I think that a lot of people, I think that it's a good thing because if you look at just the way that genetics work, right? When you have monolithic genetics, let's say even down to animals, like let's say you raise a dog, you got pure breed. They have more health problems. They have more health. But you get a little mix in there, you get smarter. Like all of the mixed breed dogs I done had way smarter You know what I'm saying? Way more
Way,
durable. Yeah, and way more
yeah,
durable than the purebred. I think that what we seeing is evolution showing us that y'all were supposed to mix together. Science,
yeah.
I mean, evolution is showing us that because look at how beautiful the minds are, how beautiful the physical form is. You see what I'm saying? This might be out of pride, but you know, a mixture of a European and an African, the babies are always beautiful, always. And then other racial
Yeah, always.
in the world, you look at the other racial mixtures. Like you lived on the West Coast, so I know that you saw a lot of Asian and Hispanic mixtures, and those people are gorgeous, beautiful people. So what I'm saying is like a lot of people are afraid that there won't be white people no more, there won't be black people no more, but there will still be people, dog. You got to get off of this. You know, people want to hold on to and be proud of something that they didn't choose. Ain't nobody choosing the world, they skin tone. Or if they came out black or white, you didn't have no choice in the matter. At least not a conscious choice. So quit acting like it's something that you chose and something that, you know what I'm saying, that you got to hold on to, man. This shit is, man, we humans. And there is, and
It's like, and like, yo, man, we humans, and like, the thing is, also, there's space for everybody. You can be proud of yourself and not mean that you got to be better than somebody else. Like, I can be proud of my European descent, and it doesn't have to shit on your African descent. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that shit has to be hateful.
what you really talking about, man? From what I done studied, like pre-racial history, before somebody came with this idea of whiteness. You see what I'm saying? The idea of whiteness came into the world.
Yeah.
It used to be all about, well, he from Germany, he from Great Britain, he from Tanzania, he from China, he from you see what I'm saying? And they worried about where you were from in your tribe, and it wasn't about the color of the skin or the colorism. You see what I'm saying? But I think that it was a long plan of some people who wanted to be in power over everybody, and them motherfuckers just happened to be white. And they added that in. And I think that what you in America is the result of years and years and years of people who are capitalists. No, let's just put like of people who are criminal. Fucking criminal. And they use the idea of race to insulate themselves with a willing group of worker bees. And this shit done
Real talk.
Forever. And they don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about nobody else. It's all about the family, because they don't never just, they don't, it ain't, it's like when you look at the real powerful old ass families, they don't identify themselves around a race. They identify themselves around their family and they crest and what their family is about. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, we talking about motherfuckers like DuPonts and Rockefellers and old money. You know what I'm saying? They ain't sitting around talking about white this and white that. They talk about the Rockefeller. How we gonna keep the Rockefeller name going? And if they gotta use race, if they gotta use economics or whatever, they'll use it to stay in power. What I'm saying is like people ain't watching, ain't understanding like the hook of this. You know, they hooking all of these poor folks in. If they really gave a fuck about poor white people, they would be making y'all lives motherfucking better economically.
Hey man, that's so real, because I mean, like, that's the thing. It's like it started from back in the plantation days. You got a couple of really, really rich families that are taking all the fucking resources. Then they got these white people. And then they got their slaves. And then they got to figure out how to control everybody. So they give the overseer power over the slave, so he feel like he the big man. But really, he got the same master. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and yeah, it's all that bullshit. It's all that trickery. Because like you point out, they're like, we're about the Rockefellers. They're not like, we are keeping up the purity of the white race. We are keeping up the money of the Rockefeller family. And you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
And if I got to give a little bit of my money to, you know, this racist professor, because if you look at the history of education in the United States, all the universities was horrible scientific. They was doing all kind of experiments on black people. They was creating all of these racial philosophies that are still in place today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like this stuff was gruesome when it first happened, but it was all in the name of science. And they just been saying it for so long, and these families paid for it, and the government paid for it, and all of this just so that they can keep the white supremacy. I'm gonna say it's the economic con game, better known as white supremacy.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
and I mean, it trickles down in so many. It trickles down in so many different ways. You know what I mean? It's like you wonder if like sometimes like because like it's like health problems are like directly related to your income level on the social strata. You know what I'm saying? Like because because you have less education, you have less access to good food, and just less access to hospitals. But then also, less than 100 years ago, they had the Tuskegee experiment.
Yes,
so it's like
purpose.
People wonder why people don't like hospitals. Well, like you know how people are always trying to pop conspiracy theories, right? And like I'm not here to really get into that one way or the other, but it's like the only true obvious conspiracy that there's been is a conspiracy against black people in America. And that's like an obvious proven conspiracy and they come out with the stuff that shows it. And then you wonder why there's all this mistrust. I mean, you don't wonder why there's all this mistrust, but people wonder why they don't trust people when they tell them things. And it's like, because they be lying to motherfuckers and doing malicious shit, like on purpose. You know what I'm saying? So how you gonna trust?
Yeah, man. And then it's like, there's mistrust all up and down the board because of a lack of communication and a lack of transparency. You know what I'm saying? All of the police departments around the country was founded, they got their origin in slave catching patrols after the Civil War. That was the first police. They was created to watch first, it was like before the Civil War, they was catching runaway slaves. After the Civil War, the same motherfuckers was the police to put people in their place. You know what I'm saying? There was anti-vagrancy laws. There was the anti-vagrancy laws encompassed a whole lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was basically penalizing poor black people and making poor white people do the enforcing of it. You know what I'm saying?
Which further drives a rift in the community between people, which the higher upper class benefits from. You know what I mean? It's like and that's why they're trying to do the same thing now. Why they planting bricks at all these protests and shit like that? It's like they want to further drive a wedge. Because people are coming together. People are actually coming together, and they spin it the other way. You know what I mean? It's like how they try to, like the media tries to spin the Black Lives Matter movement to mean that it's like an anti-white movement, which it is in no way is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
it's just, I think Black Lives Matters are tired of white people telling us that it's not a fucking problem in this country. I'm sick of people. I'm tired of these people who don't got no skin in the game. All of these people who, they had a cushy, I ain't gonna say no. People, okay, I'm tired of these people who have not really gave a damn about the plight and the hardship of their brothers and sisters because, they was up in their crystal palaces or whatnot, or, I had to work hard, so it can't be no white privilege because I had to work hard. You see what I'm saying? But you never had to worry about the police ever killing you. And they say, well, I didn't. Well, you know what? It's been, I ain't been doing no goddamn crimes. And I still get nervous. And I got a license and my car insurance and everything is up to date. I'm legal on the road. And every time a cop get behind me, I get terrified, scared to death. And I'm not doing no fucking crimes today. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of people who don't have to live through that, who don't have to live through this idea that if I don't speak perfect, if I don't act perfect, I'm tired of that. People who don't have to live through that telling me that it ain't a problem. Because every day I got to deal with shit that I don't want to deal with. Every day I got to deal with somebody locking their car door when I walk past. or somebody immediately getting frightened when I come in the vicinity, or some disrespectful ass person trying to use their sex, like thinking that can't no black man ignore no white woman trying to throw themselves at, because they got low self-esteem and they think that every black man has got his dick hanging out for some reason for a white woman. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of that shit. I'm tired of that shit. You know what I'm saying? They disrespect my woman by trying to do the shit in front of her. I'm tired of that shit. All black men ain't got their tongue hanging out for no white ass every time you try to lay it out there, girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick of a lot of shit. I'm sick of all of the racism. You know what I'm saying? I can't even, because I am in a interracial relationship. And I'm tired of the racism from black people and from white people. I can't even go and enjoy a meal somewhere. I go out with my motherfucking family that I chose. Now I'm getting a little bit, I'm going on a little rant right here, Philo, so you got to forgive me, but I'm sick of that shit. I'm sick of these, I'm sick of black folks looking down on other black folks like white folks look down on them. Quit doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? We all in this shit together, man. We should be fucking ashamed of ourselves that we act like this in 2020. The whole world need to go to the corner and think about it. Because this shit is embarrassing.
I mean, yeah, man, like for real, because like, I mean, damn. Yeah, man, you know, like, and it's like, you know, it's not the same for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just not. It's not the same for me. And like, but the thing is, it's like, I, as a white person, need to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I feel like if white America just be okay with the fact that there are certain things that we thankfully don't have to fucking deal with, which means that we should at least acknowledge, you know, at the very least acknowledge what black people do deal with on a daily basis, you know, and not get so fucking defensive and in our own bag about that shit, because it doesn't fucking matter what the fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it doesn't fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I don't know, man. Like that shit just got me kind of like, because I'm just so tired of that shit. I'm trying to explain that shit to people, and it's that same shit. It's like, well, I had to work hard. It's like, well, motherfucker, he did too. You know what I'm saying? But the difference is that you ain't likely to get fucking shot in the fucking back by a fucking cop for not doing shit. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so fucking chill the fuck out. Ain't no work.
Yeah, man, because, and it's a lot of things, man, you know, and I think that it's holding space. We got to be able to hold space for each other's experiences. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to listen and hear. And I think that as black folks, the white people in power have not heard us at all. And I know that in some communities, we are so far away from the idea of what human life is supposed to be that there has to be an immediate, like, we got to straighten this shit out, man. It's going to keep on going the way that it's going because it's too much inequality. We got, but if you look at it, they got to see, and that's another thing why we know that the racism is a trick, because if you look at the rich people across the board, no matter what race they all hold the same qualities. You know what I'm saying? They want to maintain what they got and they don't want to lose shit. You know what I'm saying? And they all look down on people that's up under them as more resources than actual people. A lot of the time, it's a spirit that go along with, you know, hoarding wealth. And I think that we really got to look at the way that we really got to look at the way that we are around that situation. Because it's the hoarding of wealth that created racism. It's the hoarding of wealth that maintains racism. It's the hoarding of wealth that's behind it. That's the main thing. It ain't the color, it's the money. You know what I'm saying? It's the money, it's the power, it's the property, it's the prestige. They use racism. They are using racism to keep themselves in power, and they're going to keep on fucking poor people over until we change it. So get out of the racist bag, man, and get into the bag of being a good human and wanting life to continue in a wonderful way. Man, I think
Well,
that,
you know, and one thing, we're about to wrap it up. Well, I wanted to say one thing, just coming from somebody who's out that racist bag to anybody who's still in that racist bag a little bit. Life is wonderful and far more fulfilling once you get out of that bag. You know what I mean? There are so many like experiences in your life and knowledge to be learned if you're not stuck within your prejudices. That shit is a jail of itself. You know what I mean?
yeah, man. So, man, I think that we done got a lot out of this conversation, man. And I want to keep on having these conversations. I know that you speak a lot of truth in your music, man. And you got a freestyle Friday. You can go up to what, 105, 106?
This Friday is 104, so that'll be
104.
2 years.
2 years, man.
Not missing
rocking every Friday.
1 week.
Making the beat.
Yeah.
The song, recording, mixing, then shooting video, editing, man. This guy right here is a dynamo. If you want to talk about your Freestyle Friday and the new album for a little bit, so we can get your art out there, man, because it's vibrant and it's real vibrant, man. Philo, man. If a lot of people don't know, man, Philo is Pimp C's white son. If y'all didn't know, he trying to change Pimp C's white son.
Hey, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Man, so yeah, man, like Freestyle Fridays, it's like I wanted a way to just be more immediate, you know what I'm saying, with talking what I had to say. And I'm like, an album generally takes a while to come to fruition. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna just do this, I'm gonna drop this Friday and I can move. And then it wasn't even, I didn't know it was so long of a thing. And you know, for the first like 50 or so, I was jacking beats and just rapping over them and shooting a one-take video, because that in itself was difficult at first to do every week.
Yeah.
Then I stepped it up and started making a beat every week, you know, and now sometimes I'll drop a whole song, you know what I mean? But like, I just try to like, I don't know, man, I want to make music that is positive music for people that have been through some negative shit. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I resonate with that, because that's the same way I kind of approach Spaceman Jones and the Motherships. It's like, you know, this is hard music for people who trying to, you know, who done been through that. You know what I'm saying? So I really appreciate you being a guy who add a lot of positivity and wisdom into your music, but it's not so preachy. I feel like you my musical brother in that sense, at least lyrically, man. And we gotta mix that song we made, man. We gotta put that out there, man. We gotta mix that song, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I feel you. Man, like, look, it's like, look, I was honestly, like, real talk, I was bumping some of y'all shit yesterday, man. Like, I bump y'all shit real often because I do feel like there's a ton of parallels, man. Because, like, it's like, you know, you got this positive music, but it's fake positive. It's like spiritual bypassing hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like motherfuckers trying to tell you how to live a great life and shit, but then you look at where their life came from, and it's like, you can't tell me shit about the dirt if you ain't been in the dirt.
Yeah, and that's the difference in music that you can feel, and music that just it might sound good and it hits all of the technical, but it don't got that grease on it, man, so you can't resonate with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because, like, you know, it's like I'm listening to your shit. I know you've been through some shit because I can feel you, brother. You know what I'm saying? I can feel you when you talking, you know? And like, and it's like, you know, but then you listen to shit, you listen to music positive, whether it's positive or negative, and you can feel whether they keeping it 100 or they full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers talking all this trap and the gangster shit. I'm like, you wouldn't be so light with it if you really did that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then on the positive shit, you wouldn't tell everybody how to live their life so specifically and easily if you knew what a windy, tricky, curvy road it is to actually live your life when you're under pressure. You know what I'm saying?
True that, man. Man, Philo, man, I appreciate you, man. If you got any like links that you want to plug right now, I know you pushing the album right now. You got your IG and all that. So tell the folks where they can find you on this world wide web, so to speak.
I bet. Well, on the IG is the good place to start. At Bish Get Up Off Me, BISHGEDDUPOFFME, like the UGK, like the Pimp C line, you know what I'm saying? And then on streaming platforms, just Philo Reitzel. You got to type my first and last name because everybody trying to jack my style. But it's my birth name, so PHILO, and then my last name a little tricky, REITZEL. So I go by first and last, and that's got all my new releases on all platforms. And then if you search me on Bandcamp, I got like a beat tape I just put out there that's for free download, or you can actually purchase the cassette. But yeah, just check me out. And if you want to subscribe to my YouTube, I put that shit out on there too. But just peace and love, man.
For sure, man. Thank you very much. I want to also give a shout out to our sponsors, Earthy Now. You can find them at earthynow.com. Quality hemp products. Shout out to my boy Ronnie Mack. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Anders, all them good guys over there at Earthy Now. And also Urban Combat Wrestling. We for the culture. Shout out to Mook. Shout out to Alan Brody. We will be back in effect soon. You know what I'm saying? For some more rap and wrestling action. But right now, man, we're going to sign off. This has been the Smoke Break with Spaceman Jones. Appreciate y'all, Philo. We see y'all next week. Peace.
This has been a Smoke Break with Spaceman Jones, sponsored by Earthy Now and Urban Combat Wrestling. See you next week.